Greetings, folks! Welcome to the Luxury Channel. Today, we have a head-scratching riddle that'll leave you wondering, how is that even possible? We're talking about California, where the state is simultaneously dealing with a severe drought and catastrophic flooding. It's like Mother Nature can't make up her mind. But fear not, because in this video, we'll be uncovering the story behind this bizarre occurrence. We'll also be discussing a massive multi-billion-dollar mega dam project the state has proposed to combat the strange phenomenon. So sit back and join us as we explore this intriguing issue in depth. Let's start by discussing the water situation in California. The state faces significant challenges with its water supply, particularly in regions such as the Great Basin, the Mojave, and the Colorado, which are officially classified as deserts. When the first settlers arrived in California a few hundred years ago, they had a tough time farming the land due to the scarcity of water. Unfortunately, the situation hasn't improved much since then. In October 2021, the governor of California declared a statewide drought emergency due to a shortage of water. He urged people to use 15% less water to help overcome this problem. However, even after almost 18 months in 2023, the emergency still persists. The state has been experiencing drought conditions for more than 1,000 days, but that's not the whole story. During this prolonged drought, California had an unexpected period of heavy rainfall that caused significant flooding in some parts of the state. This resulted in another state of emergency declaration by the governor. Currently, the state is dealing with two emergencies at the same time: drought and floods. This peculiar situation is due to how water is managed in the state. When there is heavy rainfall, a large amount of water falls on the ground and causes flooding. Unfortunately, only a small percentage of the water is collected and stored correctly. As a result, when the sun comes back out, most of the water drains away or ends up in the sea. The drought continues as if it never rained at all. This is the situation in California. They cannot collect enough water during the rainy months to compensate for the dry seasons. Instead, they alternate between too much water and too little, over and over again. The main question is whether or not something can be done to solve the problem. The plan was to build more dams and canals in the 1980s and 1990s, but these projects were postponed for a variety of reasons. The main reason was California's increasing debts, but there were also environmental concerns to consider. These water facilities disrupted the natural flow of rivers, which negatively impacted local species. Salmon and steelhead trout populations, which swim upriver to breed, decreased as a result of the state water project. In the beginning, the new water management facilities were effective, with about two-thirds of the collected water being used for urban areas and the rest for irrigating orchards and farms. The entire system was predicted to contribute around $400 billion annually to the statewide economy. However, in recent years, the existing components of the state water project have encountered difficulties. When these facilities were first established, California's population was below 20 million. But over the past few decades, the state's population has doubled, resulting in an increased demand for water that the dams and canals struggle to meet. This contributes to the recent drought problems faced by the state. Mike Wade, the executive director of the California Farm Water Coalition, stated that the current water demands have exceeded what the system was initially designed to handle. Additionally, the effects of climate change exacerbate the situation. Over the last century, the average temperature in California has increased by almost 2 degrees Celsius, resulting in intense heat waves. The droughts have become more severe. The population has grown significantly, and the water management system requires a significant upgrade. Consequently, the state plans to construct the site's reservoir, which is situated a few kilometers north of Sacramento. The area is a narrow valley with cliffs and hills surrounding it. The area called Sites on the map is not an official town, but the state wants to turn it into a lake by flooding the valley. They plan to capture excess water from big storms and save it for when there's a lack of water. This idea has been around since the 1950s but was considered too expensive and ambitious at the time. However, the state has now decided to pursue the project, which would cost around $4 billion. The site's reservoir could store a lot of water, enough to supply hundreds of thousands of Californian homes with drinking water for a year. While it wouldn't completely solve the problem of droughts in California, it would certainly help. How will the site's reservoir be constructed? The workers will begin by building dams to block any openings between the hills surrounding the valley. The main dams will be the Sites Dam and the Golden Gate Dam on the eastern side of the valley, while the rest being constructed in the north. Once all the dams are in place, the valley will become a waterproof container. The next step is to fill the container with water, usually done by obstructing a river and allowing it to flood the area. When there is a lot of rainfall, a river usually fills up a reservoir, and the water can be saved for later use. However, in the site's valley, there are only small creeks, not a big enough river to fill the reservoir. Therefore, the state plans to pump water from the Sacramento River, which is located 25 kilometers away. They will then transport the water through pipes to the valley, like a huge faucet filling a large container. This will ensure that there is enough water stored in the reservoir for future use. In the dry season, the water stored in the reservoir can be released to help nearby areas. However, pumping the water from the Sacramento River to the valley will require a lot of energy. The SWP believes the benefits outweigh the costs because the hydroelectric generators will produce around 80% of the energy required to pump the water. Construction is scheduled to begin in 2024 or 2025 and finish 6 years later in 2030 or 2031. Some people wish it could be done earlier, especially after the floods in early 2023, where a large amount of rainwater flowed down the Sacramento River. The reservoir could have supplied water to more than 200,000 Californian households for the entire year. However, some people are concerned that the project's cost could lead to a significant increase in water prices, possibly by 300%. Although it is not confirmed, this possibility worries many people. What's the point of having extra water if people can't afford to buy it? Environmental groups have also raised concerns about the impact on fish that migrate along the Sacramento River. When a dam is built to block a river, like at Oroville, it disrupts the environment. Fish can no longer swim upriver because of the concrete dam. However, the site's project is an off-stream reservoir, which means it won't block the Sacramento River. The only potential disruption would come from the high power pumps, but these will be equipped with advanced fish screens to prevent any animals from being drawn in. The SWP has also promised to use some of the water collected in the site's reservoir to help local fish species. During dry seasons, deep and cold pools where fish breed become too warm and shallow. The site's reservoir will provide water to these pools, maintaining the proper depth and temperature for breeding. Although the main focus of the project is to support humans, helping other species is also an important goal. However, there is still a chance that the project won't be built as they still need to raise more funding. Nevertheless, it seems likely that the reservoir will be operational by 2030. What do you think about this project? Share your thoughts in the comments below as we love to hear your opinions. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so that you never miss an upload. See you in our next video.